Hey friends, so this video is for those who are brand new to the world of hoop dance, or AKA hooping, and you need to get a beginner hula hoop. So if you've picked up the hula hoops at Walmart and you thought that was a beginner hula hoop, au contraire. That hula hoop might be a beginner hula hoop for a 4-year-old with a teeny tiny little waist circumference, but maybe not an adult who's packing on a few extra pounds. So let's talk about what size hula hoop you need to get started, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. So, all right, so here we go. So very first hoop needs to look something like this. So that is, and this is what we also, I want to have one little caveat here, is I want to say you have to determine what style of hooper that you want to be. So do you want to be a super fast hooper who does all off-body moves, or do you want to be a hooper who just does some waist and you just kind of want to tone up your middle, or do you want to be a hooper who is all about the flow and maybe you want to learn how to dance with your hoop and you want to figure out how to do on and off body movements so that you can kind of connect everything together in these really cool flow sequences, so you can determine what style of hooper that you're going to be. So let me go through the different styles. So if you want to start on your waist and you want to learn just some good core waist hooping, and you're a beginner and you're an adult, you're going to need a large, heavy hula hoop. So I've got some that are super thick tubing, and then I've got some that are a little bit thinner, but both of these are about 48, 50 inches, and up to, I even make them up to 52 inches, so it really just depends. But this one right here is a 48, this one's probably a 46, so it's just a little bit smaller. And then this one's a heavier hoop, so this one's probably about 2 or 3 pounds. This one could be about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. So the heavier they are, they're gonna be a little bit easier. You're gonna feel it as you're hooping on your waist. You're gonna be able to push off. So if you've got a little bit of extra cushion in the middle, then you're gonna want a weighted hula hoop. Now let's talk about the weighted hula hoops that you can find at some of the sporting stores. So for instance, they're like 10-pound weighted hula hoops. I don't recommend those for what we're kind of doing here, which is maybe dancing with your hula hoop. Those are great if you just want to do a couple minutes here or there and kind of tone the middle a little bit. It's very heavy, but if you have hip bones that are kind of sticking out at all, then those hula hoops are going to bruise you. Especially the longer you do it, you're going to feel very bruised. And even this hula hoop could do that to ladies that are, or men even, who have a little bit of like bones sticking out in their waist. So the folks that tend to be a little bit thinner. So these are for folks who have a little bit of cushion in the middle. They need a hula hoop that's a little heavier and a little bigger so they can figure out how to slow things down and get their movement going. And then you might have somebody who's also a beginner, but they are maybe a thinner person. They're just a little skinnier. They don't have as much around the waist. Then they may start with a hula hoop closer to this size. So this one's about a 40-inch, and then I'll make them all the way up to 42 or 44 inches. And this is a lighter tubing. But it's also, again, this is gonna be a little bit heavier than your typical Walmart size hula hoop. So a Walmart size hula hoop might look like this size, right? So notice the difference. I mean, this is a huge difference, right? So that's the reason why when you pick up that little tiny Walmart hula hoop, you feel like you're having to really rotate super fast. You're having to move your body. But this one, you're gonna feel a little bit different. Like, oh, I can slow this down. I can figure out what I'm doing. And same with those other really big ones. So these are all made out of polyethylene tubing. That's the black PE tubing. And they come in different widths, and I can custom make those to any size. So if you call me up and say, hey, I weigh 180 pounds and I'm 5'8", then I'll know exactly what size hula hoop to make for you, because I've been doing this for so long. So if that tells you anything. And then we also have this guy. So it's a little bit bigger than this one, but it's not nearly as big as these others, right? And so I like to call this one like an intermediate hula hoop. Or this could also be a child's hula hoop. Maybe a child that's like 8 to 10 years old Maybe they don't need one as small as they used to have when they were little, but they need something just a little bit bigger that can grow with them. Then this is going to be the hoop. And then you're going to move into your Polypro hula hoops. And so Polypro hula hoops are these guys right here. I've got 3 of them. And so if you have 2 Polypro hula hoops, my husband's pulling up from work, so I'm going to say hey to him too. But if you have 2 Polypro hula hoops that are the exact same size, these are what we would call doubles. And that means that you could have them on the body, you could split them into 2 and do some tricks up here and have some tricks going on down there. You can also take these off the body and do some stuff off the body as well. All right, so those are your doubles. And then we have what's called minis. And so these are your minis. And so minis are 2 hula hoops that are super small, again, hence the name, minis. But you're gonna do a lot of the same moves that you would do if you were gonna spin poi, let's say. So there's a lot of fun with little mini hula hoops. And so these are great for off the body and in your hands. But again, they're gonna rotate super fast. You've gotta be ready for the quickness of these as well. So if you're looking to do some stuff that's off body, you might wanna just get a small pair of the doubles and just do some stuff. And that'll help you kind of get that hand movement down and figure out how you're gonna kind of, you know, maneuver in different ways with these hula hoops. All right, so I think that's it. That kind of gives you a chance to know all the different sizes of the hula hoops. And yeah, you want to start really big when you're just kind of getting on your core a little bit. But if you want to keep it off body and you need a hula hoop that's like super quick and fast, and you want to do a lot of like off body moves, then you might want to do small little Polypros. But if you're like, hey, I want to learn at the core and I want to learn a foundation of the hoop practice, then you're going to want to pick up a heavier hula hoop, right? So this is where I got started when I was a hooper, brand new hooper in 2006. I started with this size hula hoop. It was maybe a little bit bigger actually, and it was a weighted heavy hula hoop. And so I would do the hoop for probably an hour or 2 hours at a time. I started getting a big bruise on my hip. So I went to a lighter tubing, and that helped tremendously, where I could keep that hoop on my body for a long period of time, and just kind of, I don't know, I didn't feel it nearly as much when I got something that was a little lighter. So, okay, so I think that's it. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below, and let's get you into a hoop.